Hi everyone and welcome. I'm Tami, the creator of Nutmeg Notebook, and we're in my kitchen. So this is an impromptu video. I have had a terrible cold. I wasn't sure that I was going to have enough voice to do a video today, so that's why we did not pre-schedule it or send out a email telling you that we were going to be going live. So, but I think I have enough voice that I can get through the video. So we're really excited to have you here. I am going to be making two recipes for you. So I have a Chipotle nacho cheese sauce that is super popular. The recipe has been on our blog for several years. I'm not even sure how long. And today I'm going to show you how I make the version using butternut squash instead of potatoes and carrots. And I'm using butternut squash and some carrots today. It makes it a little bit sweeter, and we love it as a cheese dip for tortilla chips, or to put over nachos or chili cheese fries, or to make what we call po nachos with potatoes and like the usual nacho toppings, but then we put our Chipotle cheese sauce over the top of it. Of course, it's dairy-free, it's oil-free, and it's nut-free, but it's really, really delicious. And then when I get done with that, I'm going to show you how I take that same cheese sauce and I make a broccoli rice casserole with it. And I have never actually written this down. It's kind of like if I've got Chipotle nacho cheese sauce, I'll mix it together and usually just make like a single serving or two servings of it. And I'm gonna fix that, and that's what I'll be having for dinner. So I'm super excited. Who do we have on, Tom? I don't know what your finger pointing means.
Oh, I was going to show you that I have this ready for you.
Okay.
But when I pointed at it, it wasn't there.
I was like, I don't understand. What does that mean?
And I'm not mic'd either yet. I haven't got
So,
but we do have some folks in the chat.
Okay, you're not mic'd.
Yeah,
just so you know.
Yeah, I'm going to get your iPad for you.
Okay, great. He'll get my iPad so I can watch the chat. So what is prompting this impromptu video? And thank you all for joining us, everyone who's on.
Impromptu?
Yeah, what prompted the impromptu video is Vitamix has a really wonderful sale going on right now, and we don't want you guys to miss out on it. So it is for a certified reconditioned Vitamix blender, the V1200. That's this model here. This is the Venturist model. It is one of the self-detect designs, so I'll explain what that means in a minute. It is reconditioned, so normally it would sell for $349.95. It's $120 off, so it is going to be selling for $329.95. When we bought ours, we paid $500 for it. So this is a really great.
I think $549.
Well, yeah, it was more like $549. But what you will get with it is you will get the low profile 64-ounce container that you see here. And when it says low profile, what this means is it will fit under most standard kitchen cabinets. So that was a problem with the older models, is they had a very tall carafe and they wouldn't fit under people's kitchen cabinets. And so that was kind of a pain. So they have a low profile container on them now, and so it will fit under standard kitchen cabinets. So you get the two-piece container. So it's actually three-piece because the lid is two-piece. So you get the 64-ounce container. You get the lid, which just snaps on easily like that. You get the plug for the center, and it also works as a little measure as well. So either 30 milliliters or 1 ounce, and it does have the ½ ounce. And that's nice if you need to add a little bit of liquid to what you're making, like you're making hummus and you decide it needs a little more aquafaba or a little more lemon juice. You can put it in here and then drop it in there. Yes, Tom.
Gina's wondering, does it work with the food processor?
Yes, it works with the food processor. That's like one of the most exciting things about it. And then this is nice because if you can see here, it has vents. Can you see that? I don't know, it doesn't really show up, but there's a little bit of venting here. Why that is important is because you can actually make hot soups in this or hot dips in it, but we need that steam to be able to escape. So we don't want it to build up in there and have the top pop off. And so this allows the steam to escape. So you're going to get the base, you're going to get the container with the 2-piece lid. You also, in addition, you're going to get this 20-ounce container that also has a blender base on it. This allows you to do a smaller quantity of, let's say, salad dressing. You can do baby food in it. You can do a small smoothie, but the size smoothies that you all do and I do would be too big for this, but you could do something small in this, and then you can take this cup to go. It also is going to come with, I forgot to get this out, with this lid.
You can show us on this other.
That,
oh, you're not, where are you? You're.
What happened to your video?
It's showing something that's not there.
That's.
No, it's just over here. It's just out of
frame.
frame.
It's out of frame.
I have to reposition.
Okay, so so there's this lid. You've got a little carry loop here. Also, you can either put a straw in there, you can drink from it, or you can pour from it. So you could store something in the refrigerator. I don't know which camera I'm on now. This one.
Here.
Okay,
Yeah,
great. And
right
so this is a smaller container. Because this is a really big container, 64 ounce, and then this is your small 20 ounce. So if you want to make like half of a salad dressing recipe or something, then you would do it in this container. It fits on this base, and because this has the newest self-detect technology, the Bluetooth technology, then when you put this on the machine knows, oh, that's the 20-ounce container, and it knows how long it should run for the longest amount of time given the size of the container, and it will automatically shut off if you try to exceed that time. And so that's pretty cool. So that saves the blender and it saves you as well. So you're going to get that. You're also going to get the tamper, and I love the tamper. That was one of the reasons that I wanted to get rid of my old blender and move to a Vitamix, because I wanted a tamper. So the tamper, as you can see, it does not go down and touch the blade. It hovers over the top of the blade, but what this does is it allows you to push things down into the blades. So I love to make hummus in the Vitamix blender, and you can push down from the corners here. You can push down and you can push that food down into the blade so that it can spin, and it's great. You can make peanut butter in here. You can take your nuts and put them in here and you can blend them into peanut butter. You can do your almond butter in here, cashew butter if you want to, if that's something that you want to do. You can take oats. In my other video that we put up the other day, I showed you how you can put oats in here and you can make your own oat flour. And so it's not only a time savings, but it's also a money savings. And with the cost of food going up like crazy right now, it's really important to cut back where we can and save those pennies where we can. And I feel like the Vitamix really helps us to do that. So you're going to get the tamper, and then you're also going to get this cookbook, the Simply Blending cookbook. It's a beautiful cookbook, and it has dips and sauces and smoothies and soups and salad dressings, lots of ideas in here, how to make nice cream, lots of wonderful ideas in here. They are not all vegan, but you guys, you know how to veganize things, right? And so you can do that. So it'll give you lots of ideas on how to use the machine. So this was my first Vitamix that I got after I had a different high-powered blender that I wasn't real happy with, and I have been completely happy with the Vitamix. It's a great machine.
What about your husband?
You also, my husband loves it. You also...
Were you happy with him too?
Oh, I was happy with him too. Yeah, I didn't want to return him. I decided I'd keep him because I got too much time invested in him now. And so you also get a 5-year warranty with this as well. There is an option to upgrade if you want to extend the warranty. So it also comes in different colors. So you can get black, red, white, or slate for the base. So here's the thing about the Vitamix blenders. They all will do all of the same things of the, there's one that's a smaller one that doesn't do everything that the full size ones do.
The Vitamix One.
The Vitamix One.
And it's for like sending to your
college, right?
Dormitory.
So all of them that have a full size base like this one, they all have the same power. They will all do the same functions. So they can all blend, they can all chop, they can all puree, and they can all make a hot soup. And it has no heating element. It's just the friction of how fast this blade spins in here is what creates the heat. And in the other video, I made a carrot ginger soup. You may have seen that. Some of you have already made it and told me that you loved it. Thank you. I love it too. I've been eating a lot of it with this terrible cold I've had. So they will all do the same things. It's just a matter of how they look and the accessories that are available for them that are the difference. So who is this good for? This is good for someone who wants to get their very first Vitamix. This is a great price to be able to get in to Vitamix for $329.95. You can get this high-powered blender with all of these accessories, which is really cool. And it's also good for someone who has an older Vitamix and who wants to upgrade to get the self-detect technology. So moving forward, this is the direction that Vitamix is going in. And so moving forward, the accessories that they make for the Vitamix will be for the self-detect. And yes, this does work with the accessory, which is my favorite accessory, and Tom, maybe you can pull it out when you're done there, and that is the food processor. So my base sits out all the time because I use my Vitamix all of the time, and so the food processor attachment fits on top of here and makes it really easy to use a food processor. And it has, you know, the S blade that we're all used to, and then it also has all of the cutting blades that you would want. One of the things that I love about it is how they have made it have a very small footprint. So look at this. This is the food processor. This is the lid, and this holder holds the blades, the cutting blades. So it can shred, it can slice, and it does have a French fry, a blade, and it has a julienne. And I think there's some other new ones. I ordered a set, but I haven't even had time to explore it thoroughly. But I'll just show you really quick. Now remember, you're not getting the food processor with this for this price. The food processor is an accessory item. But here is the S blade, or they call it just a standard blade, but you know, we know it as an S blade. And then this fits down on here. It has that easy attach lid, and here it is. And so when I put this on here, because it has that self-detect system, the Vitamix base knows that I have put the food processor attachment on here, and it knows how to behave. And so all I have to do is turn it on, turn it off. I can use the pulse function if I want to, or just the on-off switch. It also has the chute to feed everything in there. So the small chute, or just like other food processors, then it also has the bigger chute up here. And then there is a release button here that I can push, so I don't have to remove the whole thing. I can take this off and, you know, do whatever I need, empty contents out, what have you, and then I simply come back and put it back on. It's fairly lightweight. That was one of the things that I loved about it, because my Cuisinart, Tom bought me this huge Cuisinart. It's a beautiful machine. I have it. It's in my garage right now. But it was so heavy, and it was a pain to clean. They have designed this so that it is actually very easy to clean. So the inside of it does not have any gaps or little crevices where food's going to get stuck that's going to make it hard to get clean. It washes up really beautifully. It is 64-ounce capacity, so 8 cups. It does everything that I need it to do. So you don't have to get this right now. This will continue to be available. You are just being a little naughty. I could just tell.
It's a blender. It's a food processor. It's an ice cream machine. It's a hummus maker. It's a Vitamix.
It is. It does.
You're just
all
really
those
on
things.
a roll.
Am I?
Are we going to cook something?
I am. Am I talking too much? Do you
No.
think? Oh, okay.
You could never talk too much.
Okay. So
You always
anyway.
talk just enough. I'm gonna.
Sure, he says that
over
now. Can you shut that cupboard over there? You left that cupboard door open. Okay, so this is how this packs up, just nice and neat. And then this sits on top of here, and it doesn't take up very much space in the cupboard either. And I do have, I think I have a video, I know I have a video of me using this, doing different things with this, but is it on YouTube? I can't remember. I'm going to pass that back to you. Okay, so let's put this up here, and I'm just going to check the chat here. Oh, the usual suspects are here. Thank you guys for joining in. If you have a Vitamix blender, let us know, and let's see what you think of it. So here's one thing that's really great about having the Vitamix blender when you're on a whole food plant-based diet, is that you can make absolutely delicious, healthy foods. So this thing can process our dates for our desserts with our sweet potatoes and our oat flour, and it can take on those big, thick, heavy jobs. It makes incredible hummus. You can make smoothies in this. You can make your nut butters. You can make oil-free salad dressings that are absolutely creamy and incredible. You can make the cheese soup like I'm about to make. My Alfredo sauce comes out velvety smooth when it's made in this. You cannot get the same results from a standard blender. They just don't process the same way and have the same results. And so because we use so many whole foods in our diet, we want to use those to create wonderful meals, desserts, sauces, and salad dressings. And you really need a high-powered blender in order to be able to do that. So Vitamix has been around for a long time. They've been making these. They are passionate. Tom and I have gotten to know some of the people that work at Vitamix, and they've been there for years and years and years, and they absolutely love Vitamix, and they know so much about it. It's just amazing. Okay, take a deep breath. Tom's having a little snack. And
Nikki says that she needs to make the cheese sauce soon. She's making your quinoa banana oat muffins right now.
oh, awesome. That's wonderful. I made some of those last week. So,
So the
okay.
first time watching, the time difference means it's 10:45 a.m. Sunday morning.
Oh my
It's
gosh.
tomorrow there, not the middle of the night.
Oh, I see you've been talking about me.
No, I didn't say anything about you. What you talking?
Just
No,
that I'm ready, I might be ready to enter back into
oh,
society.
Gina was saying she missed us at the last gathering. So.
Oh, yes. Yeah. Okay. Well, we have not been out or being social because I did not want to spread this to anybody because this
And
what.
it's a cold.
Yeah, it's a cold. This virus is
Not COVID.
It's not COVID, tested negative for COVID. It's just a really, really bad virus. Starts out with sore throat and then it goes into like 5 days in, then it turns into a nasty head cold. So far, knock on wood, Tom has not caught it. Okay, so if you have my beautiful chopped salad course, the Chipotle nacho cheese sauce is in the recipe PDF on page 27. I think it's in our new one too, but I can't remember. Is it in the new book too? And then it's also,
yeah, there's a sausage section. It's got
okay.
like 4 different sauces.
And then it's also, the Chipotle nacho cheese sauce is also on our blog, the recipe. And so Tom, you could put that in the show notes too. Okay. So I'm going to get started making the Chipotle nacho cheese sauce. So we're going to start with 2 cups of water. So I'm just going to get that in there, set this aside. And then the regular recipe calls for 2 cups of potatoes and a cup of carrots. I'm using 2 cups of butternut squash, and it's cooked butternut squash, and then 1 cup of carrots that I have cooked. This was a bag of frozen butternut squash, organic frozen butternut squash that I got at Whole Foods. And so I'm trying to use up stuff that we have in our freezer right now because I'm afraid things are going to get old. And so I'm trying to clean things out, been cleaning out my pantry and just trying to use things up. So 2 cups of butternut squash and 1 cup of carrots, or you could do 2 cups of white potato. So the butternut squash is a little bit creamier and it doesn't set up as hard once it gets cold. So we're just going to add that in here as well. And that last little piece wants to stick. So we'll get it out. And then
You're going to have me blend that, right?
Well, I'm going to start it here, and then you could probably take it away if you wanted to while I make this. Yeah. So then I have 2 tablespoons of lemon juice, and this was bottled lemon juice because I just didn't feel like I wanted to juice lemons. So you can use fresh if you have it. You could use, like if you juice your citrus and then freeze it, you can do that as well. And then I have half a cup of nutritional yeast and half a cup of rolled oats, and these are organic sprouted rolled oats, but any kind of rolled oats, whatever your favorite is. And then we have the seasonings, and I'll just read you off what they are because we make this frequently, and so I learned this trick from Chef AJ to save my empty spice bottles, and then for the things that I make frequently, I go ahead and measure out like 4 at a time so that I don't have to get the spices out every time that I make it. Now, Tom usually is the one that makes this, and so he appreciates that I have everything prepped for him. So it's 2 teaspoons of smoked paprika, 1 teaspoon of onion powder, 1 teaspoon of garlic powder, a teaspoon of chipotle chili powder, half a teaspoon of your favorite chili powder, half a teaspoon of ground cumin, and a 1/4 teaspoon of jalapeno powder, or to taste, or you could pop a fresh jalapeno in here. And this is pretty spicy, so if you don't like it spicy, then I would cut back on the chipotle chili powder and the regular chili powder, and you could skip the jalapeno. So it's very forgiving. Some people like it even hotter, and so they add more. So we like it just pretty much like this. And I'm just going to put my spices in there. And then we want to put the lid on. Always important to make sure you put your lid on, you guys. You do not want to redecorate your kitchen. Okay, so on this, I'm going to shut this off so I can show you. So on this machine, I want to show them because this has an off-on switch. And so when you first take it out of the box and then you go plug it in, you might think, oh my gosh, it's not working. And it's because it has an off-on switch back here. So it's just a toggle switch. So you just turn that on. And then in the front here, this is your speed dial here in the middle. And then this over here is pulse. And then this is off and on, okay? So, and we're gonna run this. You always want to start at the lowest setting. If you have this cranked up to a higher setting when you first turn it on, it's just going to splash and like upchuck everything to the top, and stuff's gonna get stuck up on the lid. So you want to turn it down to the low setting when you first start it, and then you can move it up to the higher speed, and we'll see if we need to use the tamper for it or not. So I'm gonna go ahead and turn it on, and I'll let it spin a little bit, Tom, and get going. And then I like to let it run for like 2 minutes. And so I'm gonna have Tom actually take it into the other room so that I can talk and do the next recipe. So, okay, so I don't even need the tamper for this one. I'm going to turn it back down to the low setting so that when Tom takes it in the other room and starts it up, that he doesn't create a problem with it.
So how many minutes?
I like it to like about 2 minutes. 2 minutes gets it warm.
Okay.
And it also, if we were going to serve it right away, we'd maybe run it a little bit longer just so it could be steaming hot. But I like to do it long enough that everything is completely pulverized and very, very creamy, because it can do that. Okay, so we won't be able to finish this completely until Tom gets back with that, actually. So I'll just show you what we're going to do here. So I have some 3 cups of rice in here. This was frozen rice that Tom makes rice and then we freeze it so that we always have it ahead. So he does that in our Instant Pot. We do brown rice. Sometimes we do white rice. Our grandkids really love the white rice. So I thawed this out and then I measured out 3 cups of it. Then I had the broccoli. We just buy the organic bags of broccoli from Costco, and then I measured out 3 cups of it while it was raw, and I just steamed it in the microwave for a minute because I just wanted to soften it up. And just look at that pretty color. It's so colorful. And so that's going to go in here. I'm going to add cheese sauce when he comes back with cheese sauce done for us. And I'm going to add some green onions as well. And I don't really measure. And when I make this, I honestly don't measure. I just kind of put it together. So that's maybe 1/4 to 1/3 of a cup. And the cheese sauce is going to give us plenty of spice to it. And then I stir this together, and then I add the cheese sauce. Do you guys remember before you went plant-based, when you were on the standard American diet, there were so many delicious rice and broccoli or broccoli rice casserole dishes? Well, that's essentially what I'm making here, just much, much easier, and of course a whole lot healthier as well. And then what I'm going to use for a topping, because I'm gluten-free, so putting like breadcrumbs on top is out for me. And I have these Vegify cauliflower crumbles. You may have seen these on Chef AJ's show. I first tasted them at her house. So she likes to take already cooked potatoes, small potatoes like the Yukon Gold potatoes, or you can even do the purple potatoes. And then once they're cooked, you chill them, cut them in half, and then you just sprinkle these crumbles on a plate and then dip the cut side of the potatoes into them and put them in your air fryer. And they just get nice and crunchy, and they're really fun. And they come in there's different flavors and different colors. So there's purple beet, and there's a turmeric one, I think a carrot one. I have all of them. And so they're just kind of fun. Oh, here he is. Thank you. And you can see that the steam has already built up in there. And because it's getting hot already, voila, see the steam? And let's see what that looks like. I'm just looking at my monitor here so I can see. Look at that. And it's a beautiful color as well. And
here, hold it up to this one here.
Nope, got to come back. That's an odd position, huh?
Well, it's up on the light pole, so.
Yeah, okay, so there you go. So you can see it's nice and smooth and creamy. I'm gonna pour some. And I was gonna see, how much does it make? People are always asking. It made 32 ounces.
Okay, let me get the pour.
So.
Hold on.
What are you doing?
I want to get the pour.
Oh, you want to get the pour?
Yeah, you're gonna, because it's a texture thing.
Okay, I gotta set that down a second. That's heavy.
No way.
Yes way.
Okay, pull that little bowl towards you. There you go.
All right.
You see what you got here?
I do. You ready?
I'm ready.
Ready
We're
for
ready.
the pour?
Let's do the pour.
We're ready for the pour.
Oh, look at that pour.
Yum, 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 yum. Look at that.
I need some chips.
I have chips. I made chips. While you were upstairs, I made chips.
Okay.
So look at that. Amazing. You want a chip?
No, I was going to hold it up here. You want to hand me the cheese sauce now?
There, it got a little off. He's going to hold it up to the camera so you can see it.
I shouldn't tip it too much.
Don't tip it because you're going to make that bowl look ugly.
Oh, that's not working. I'm in the wrong, I'm backwards. I can't do it. You do it to that camera. Do it to camera one.
There we go.
There you go. That's better.
Nice. Okay. Do you want a chip? Come have a chip.
You know what? I don't want to crunch. I have to turn my mic on mute if I'm going to crunch a chip.
Oh, it's true. You do. Okay. So as you can see here, I have made chips. These are air fried chips. They're just corn tortillas that I have. Maybe you could get a little plate so I can put that on a plate, honey.
Okay.
I just took corn tortillas, cut them in triangles. I think I did each tortilla into 8s. Used the Breville Smart Oven Air and put them on the air frying rack in there. And these are the thin, what, Tom? That cupboard door's open. He doesn't shut cupboard doors, you guys. It drives me crazy.
Well, if I go back, then it's already open for me.
I'm going to open it for you. He just opens them and then leaves them open. But one day he did smack his head on it. Do you remember that? He was like, wow, somebody should have shut that door. I'm like, you think? Maybe so.
You're mean.
I'm sorry. Well, anyway, now I forgot what I was saying. Oh, air fryer, 375 degrees. Because these are really thin corn tortillas, they only take about 4 minutes. But the thicker ones that Tom likes take about 8 minutes in the air fryer.
Yes.
Your chips. Okay. So I don't measure how much of the cheese sauce. I just kind of pour. So until it looks right. I'm just going to pour some in. I'm going to stir it. And then if it looks right, I'm going to call it good. And then I put it in a casserole dish, and then I like to put it in the oven for about 25 minutes because everything in it is already cooked. I'm just going to add a little more cheese sauce. I'm sure this is about probably 1.5 cups of cheese sauce. But you can use as much as you want. You can use as much rice. You could do this with quinoa or millet if you prefer. You could do it with wild rice. You could do it with a combination. But I think this is kind of a good equal amounts of rice to broccoli. And then I just put it in a casserole dish to bake it. You could microwave it if you're in a hurry. You could just microwave it. So I'm just going to put this in here.
Belinda says it looks delicious.
It's very tasty, you guys. It's comfort food, right?
Yeah.
So it can be a main dish, or you can have it be a side dish. You could do my lentil loaf, and you could have this be a side dish to the lentil loaf. And then just spread it out here. Okay, I'm going to get rid of this bowl real quick.
Oops. Where'd you go?
I'm just getting rid of the bowl. Okay. And then I'm just going to sprinkle some of the Vegify cauliflower crumbles. And these are just, let's see, where's the ingredients for you? Gluten-free, vegan, non-GMO, cauliflower and potato are the only 2 ingredients. And you can get these off of Amazon. Tom, do we have these in our Amazon store?
What are they?
The Vegify crumbles.
I don't know if you had me put them in the pantry or not.
Let's look and see. Actually, I'm going to tamp this down just a little bit more. I just like it to be kind of even.
I've got you on casserole cam now.
Casserole cam?
Yeah, right here.
Great. So I'm just going to...
Just so you don't slide it out of the picture. I mean, that'd be like leaving a door open or something.
That would be bad, wouldn't it? Okay, and then I'm just going to sprinkle some of this on top. And you don't have to have anything on top, seriously. It's delicious without any kind of a topping, but it's kind of fun to have the crumbles because they're kind of crunchy. And it makes you feel like you're getting breadcrumbs. And then if you want it to have a little bit of color, this is just sweet paprika as opposed to smoked. We've got enough smoke going on in here, and we've got enough spice going on. And so then, you know how our mothers used to sprinkle casserole dishes and different things with a little paprika just to give them color. And so this is just going to add a little bit of color to the top of it. And it just looks really pretty. So see there?
Here, let me go here.
Yeah.
It's got a lot of sprinkle on it. Wow.
Yeah, isn't it neat?
Yeah, that almost looks like art.
Oh, it does kind of look like art.
Wow, I wonder if you could frame it.
It's edible art. We're going to eat it, honey. We're going to eat it. Okay, so there you go.
Is that Diener?
Well, it's going to be. We probably need a veggie burger or something to put with it. So that is it. Simple, easy, and delicious. So
Stephanie has a question.
Yeah, please.
Stephanie's saying, what about using gluten-free breadcrumbs sprinkled on top? That would be fine.
Yeah, whatever you have, you could totally do that. That would be great. So is there a brand of gluten-free bread that you have found that's also oil-free that tastes good? I did try a lot of different brands. It's really hard to find something.
What was your baking time in
so 350
in the
for
in the Breville?
Yeah, just 350 in your oven, just regular. You don't need to have it be super hot. So just bake at 350.
Gina likes to push it at 370 for 4 to 5 minutes.
Well, you could do that. It's whatever you decide. So I like to do 350 for about 25 minutes. So that cheese sauce was already warm, and the broccoli was warm, and the rice was like room temperature. And so it, you know, it's not cold. And so we just want to heat it up. But you could also, at this point, you could just put it in a bowl and you could put it in the microwave and you could heat it up that way as well. So we've got our cheese sauce, we've got our nacho chips, and you could easily put these on a plate, put some black beans on top of them, and some shredded lettuce or shredded cabbage, some green onions, some chopped tomato, some salsa, a little bit of Chipotle nacho cheese sauce. Well, to tell the truth, a lot of Chipotle nacho cheese sauce because we really love it. Yes, Tom?
There is a discussion going on. I think Stephanie maybe started it. Her chips always come out chewy, not enjoyable. Wish I could get them like chip crunch.
Yes,
so
so
there's some discussion on that, and also involving both machines and thicknesses of tortillas.
Yes, so how thick the tortillas are really makes a difference. I find these are the thin tortillas and these get crispy. These actually get crispy. Now the thicker ones that Tom uses, they get hard. I would just say that they're hard. They're not crispy like this, like these.
Mine snap.
Yeah, but yours are just more like hard. Al and I agree on this.
Well, because they're thicker.
Our friend Al. So I prefer to make chips out of these. I will eat his chips, but I prefer the thin ones. So find the thinnest. These are called Thinables, I think. And they're the Mi Rancho brand. And they're the thin ones. And I can find them at Whole Foods, The Nugget, sometimes Safeway, and I think they get crispy more like a fried chip, where the thicker tortillas, they do become a chip, but they're more like hard and not crisp.
I won't disagree with them being harder and thicker. They are quite crisp because when I crumble them, they crinkle and crumble and snap and crackle and pop. So they do have the crispy, but they are thicker. The reason I like the thicker ones is I like to take the chip and scoop into the beans and rice in lieu of using a spoon. Because like, why would you use a spoon when you have a chip? So I use that chip as a utensil, and these thin ones just crumble in my fingers when I try to do that. I want to address I call it leathery. If you don't do them right, they're like leathery. It's like eating when we used to eat dried.
They're not cooked long enough.
Yeah, I'm not looking to chew on a tortilla jerky chip. Yeah. That's not my goal. So in the Breville, one of my hacks is, and we've talked about this before, I do 8 minutes at 375 degrees from a cold start. If you are going from a hot start, then the time changes, otherwise it'll get overdone. But I do the cold start, put the chips in, I do 5 of them and cut in the triangles. And when the beeper goes off that it's now reached temperature, I grab a towel and I open the door and I wipe all of the condensation that's collected on that door. I remove all of that moisture from the equation.
That's right.
And there's rather a surprising amount that condenses on the glass door. Another byproduct for that is that our glass door is always exceptionally clean, because it's like getting steam cleaned every time we use it, every time I use it. So that moisture being removed from the equation avoids that leathery thing. Then they are really, crispy, thicker, but crispy.
Yeah.
Tami, because I'm occupying the big Breville all the time with my batch of chips, she's the expert on what she does.
I don't make chips in the Ninja.
You have to watch them really close if you do, because the heating elements are so close to the chips. And
I've burned them too many times because I'm always busy doing other things, and we know exactly how long it takes in the Breville. So I do prefer to do them in the Breville because I've burned too many of them in the Ninja. I have to watch them really close and use a lower temperature, but I don't remember what it was.
Also, if I've stored them too long in the little pile that we get, and the bottom ones, the moisture kind of goes down, and the bottom ones are really, really wet, those are more likely to get that leathery thing. So if I've left them in the refrigerator too long, I'll even take a paper towel and kind of damp dry the ones where they've collected a lot of moisture. But that shouldn't happen because you shouldn't be sitting on them that long.
Some of the ones at the bottom here, the first batch that I did today, because I did 2 trays of them, and they were really wet, and they took like 2 minutes longer.
Yeah.
And
sometimes
and the texture on them will be a little more
leathery.
Yeah, a little leathery.
So yeah, it's just like your shirts and your favorite brand of deodorant. It's all about moisture. It's all about moisture control. What isn't about moisture control? So
it is so funny. So Karen Gaylor said that she buys hers directly from Mi Rancho.
Oh wow!
So that's good. So you guys can
so
try
Stephanie's
that too.
agreeing with me. Okay,
Great.
She said
Yeah.
exactly. I said something right. Very good. And I did it without leaving the cupboard door open.
Your chips, the thicker tortillas create more moisture too.
Yeah.
Like I did these, and they didn't create a bunch of moisture
yours
on
are
the
several
window.
minutes less time than mine too.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
yours do create a lot more. Else says, how long has this been on? I didn't know they were having a live one.
This is a impromptu. What was that? An impromptu.
I was prompted to do an impromptu.
She was prompted to do an impromptu. So,
I wasn't. We did an Amazon Live today, and so I talked for an hour and a half, and I lost my voice after that. So I did lay down and took a nap.
Yeah, check your Facebook feeds. We published in your Nutmeg Notebook. What's the other one? Instagram feeds. We did a product. It's only an hour. It's a short one. It's only an hour and a half long.
That's short
and
for us.
we introduced some new products today that we purchased recently. And
that's on Amazon Live, but the link to it is either in my bio on Instagram, or if you go to the Nutmeg Notebook Facebook page, you'll find the link to it there.
Or it's just amazon.com/live/Nutmeg Notebook.
There you go.
So that's an easy way to get there as well.
It is.
So these chips and this cheese sauce and this bake.
Well, you don't like these chips, so you'll probably want to make your own.
Tortilla chips in general prove once again that we would be lost without our Vitamix and our Breville.
It's true, because we rely on them to cook most of our meals.
Yeah.
Which it's just so amazing.
Yes.
It is.
Yeah, we're thankful for the sun, the moon, the stars, the Vitamix, and the Breville, and each other.
And each other.
Which camera are we on? We're on this one.
We should be on that one.
I should know when I'm trying to make a straight face, I should know where to look.
Kathy says, I'm glad to catch you on too, just by luck. Well, we're glad that you guys could catch up with us too. We've been kind of lonely because we haven't seen anybody.
Oh, Joe just popped in.
For 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Hi, Joe.
Okay.
He's helping with spring cleaning, lurking since you both began the stream. I'm just like Tom, love the thicker tortilla chips because I like to dip them in beans, hummus, and guacamole.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. And since I guess since I don't do that,
You're not a
I
dipper.
like these.
You're not.
Yeah, I like these. Plus, I feel like I get to have more of these for the same amount of calories because they're thinner.
See, if I was eating those, I'd have to eat twice as many.
Oh, well, we don't want to do that then, do we?
Okay.
Not at all.
So yeah, we will likely be on a few more times between now and April 6th because Vitamix did ask us to. Well, they actually sponsored a video for us.
Not this one.
Not this one that we released on Friday morning.
Right.
Which
If you didn't see that, watch the video from Friday because I did 3 recipes in there. We did my blender waffles. We did the ultimate Caesar dressing, which is
the Rico one. The muy rico.
Yeah, it's a nut-based one that's very rich, and it's the one that my family always requests. And our son says, "Mom, you need to bottle this and sell it because it's good." And then I also made a carrot ginger soup, and all of those recipes are on the blog. And the carrot ginger soup, you guys are just going to love it. And the waffles are really good as well.
And Sammy, what's your name?
I don't know.
Sammy.
Is that your other wife?
Tami takes. The S on takes got in front of, instead my brain did a flip.
Okay.
Tami does do a deep dive on this machine on that video. And along with that, though, are 3 really great food demonstrations, and the recipes are all on the blog, and they're all linked in the show notes. So we're trying to deliver value in that, and also teach about the machine. So
exactly.
yeah.
So
And Stephanie was with us on the Amazon Live this
oh,
morning.
nice. That was fun. We had a nice group on the Amazon Live. So yeah, here's the thing. Whenever there's things going on in the plant-based community, we think, oh, we don't want to talk about things too much because people will get sick of hearing it. But the thing is, some people only come on to social media like once a week or once every couple of weeks. And then they're upset that they've missed out on something that's going on in the plant-based community. And so we feel like we have to tell people multiple times in order for everyone to hear what's happening.
Yeah, and I'm going to be looking into Restream again for Tami, because she's asking about streaming to YouTube, Facebook at the same time. And we're not
Would
sure.
be a time saver.
And we're not sure you can stream to Instagram on that at the same time or not. We have to learn that.
Yeah, I don't think you can stream to Instagram,
Yeah.
but you can do YouTube and Facebook at the same time.
Okay.
So Lori says, my mom used to make the broccoli rice casserole with a meat. Oh, really? I never heard of it with meat. I think I could rehydrate some soy curls and shred them into the casserole. Oh, that's a great idea. That would work really well. We do like soy curls. I don't make them often, but I do keep some in the freezer, and there's a few things that I make with them. Mm-hmm. So we like Dylan's Instant Pot pasta bake, or penne bake, I think it's called. And
she makes a big batch of that, and the problem is that she makes a big batch of that, and then I want to eat it all. It's just so eatable.
And I have a serving the first day, and then you eat all the rest of it.
Well, David, our son, helped.
This last batch.
Yes.
Yeah, it's true.
Okay.
He did.
Gina says that we could never stream too much. I think that's what she means.
Oh, well, let's hope so. Joe says, that's a cool product. Wish we had a Whole Foods brand like that. There are some pita chips, but wow, they're really hard. Yeah, pita chips are hard, aren't they? So somebody in here asked, do you ever make your own corn tortillas? You know what? I don't. I have not. I know that people say it's really easy
We've
to
looked
do.
at the presses. There's a bazillion different kinds of presses.
Well, Katie has one. Our daughter has one that we could borrow if we wanted to do it. But, I already make so many things from scratch. I just don't want to have to make one more thing.
I think probably we're going to stick with the Mi Rancho on that one. It looks like it'd be a fun thing to try once as an experience.
And I know they'd be so much more delicious. But then we would feel bad every time we ate the ones from the store, because we would know we were missing out on something that tasted better.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, let's recap for
So
the end of the video
maybe when I retire,
yes.
I can make tortillas from scratch.
Okay, well, that's not for like 4 more years.
Why? How do you know that?
67 is your retirement age.
Oh, that's my retirement age. Okay. Okay, so to recap.
Yeah, and I'll show that. I'll bring that page up again. I'm going to slide over to the control room. And
you're going to put me on camera 1 then, if you're going to slide?
I am. Here we go.
He's sliding. There he goes, you guys.
Okay, I'm ready.
Organic Silver Moon Design says, just got here, first live with you. Love your channel. Thank you so much.
Oh dear, we're just ending.
And we are just ending, but you can go back and watch the replay of it. So here's what we're sharing with you. The news of the day is that Vitamix has the certified reconditioned Venturist V1200 is on sale. The regular price for this machine is $449.95. It is certified reconditioned. It's $120 off. It has a 5-year warranty. It has the new self-detect technology. It comes in black, red, white, or slate. And Tom, where'd the picture of it go? What are you doing?
I was trying to get the link for the
Can we show the picture of it? I wanted to show them everything that it comes with. So you get everything that you see here, plus you get a tamper. So you get the 64-ounce low-profile container. This fits underneath standard size kitchen cabinets, so you can put it on your kitchen countertop. You also will get the 20-ounce container with the blade base so that you can do small batches of salad dressings and sauces. You will get the tamper, as I mentioned, and then you will also get the cookbook. And here's another thing about these certified reconditioned machines. They have a multi-point process where they go through and test the machine. The machine cannot be older than 1 year old, and all of the items that touch food are brand new. They are not used. And so the tamper, the 20-ounce container, and the 64-ounce container are all going to be brand new. Okay, because they come in contact with the food, and then they make sure that there's no scratches or blemishes or anything on the housing as well, and you're getting a 5-year warranty. So Tom and I paid over $500. He believes it was $545 for ours, and that was just a couple years ago. So this is a great value, a wonderful way to step into getting your first Vitamix, or if you want to upgrade your blender, your Vitamix blender, and get into the self-detect technology, then this is the way to go, because moving forward, all of the accessories that they make will be geared towards the self-detect systems. So the Venturist V1200 has the self-detect, so you'll be able to use the food processor and all of the extra little containers that they make for it. So, and I think they're great. They work wonderful. Kathy says their accessories are so expensive. Is that because of inflation, or have they always been so expensive? Well, Kathy, I can't answer that because I've only enjoyed the Vitamix products for a couple of years. Tom, you want to say something?
Yeah, just it's not an economy product. The Vitamix products, the phrase I heard was they cost a lot, but they're worth more than they cost. For instance, the certified reconditioned V1200 has a 5-year warranty. Our Ascent, a 3500 blender that we have, has a 10-year warranty. So Vitamix is, in it with you for the long haul. If there is an issue with something, they have a means where you can send in and get it repaired. They don't, they're not throwaways. They're meant to last years and years and years.
Yes. So a lot of people buy a Ninja or the NutriBullet, and like every 6 months to a year they have to replace it because it wears out, because these are made for processing our whole food products that we use, like nuts and dates and all the greens that we put in there for smoothies and all the frozen fruit. And so these are of a different standard of quality, also because of the big motor that they have, and they're not throwaways. We know people that have Vitamix blenders that are 30 years old and they're still using them.
Even the technology on the blades. I do recall our old blender. You get them and the blades are like really, really sharp, and you have to be really careful on these. These blades don't have that razor front edge on them. They're milled so that they're dull to begin with, because it's the speed and the power and the impact of that blade on the material in there that's pulverizing it and breaking down vegetables and greens and nuts and seeds and whatever. It's just like when you grind flour. It's stone to stone, and it's grinding in a slow and pulverizing it. This is at very high speed, pulverizing everything in its path, and the friction of that is what makes the heat to cook it. those kinds of things can't happen with a lesser product. So, and because of that the physics of that, when the blade gets dull, and then it doesn't work anymore. Those that start out with really sharp blades depend on that sharp blade. When it's dull, they don't have the means to then process the food anymore. Where this one maintains the edge that it starts out with, and always works fine that way. So,
so Joe's asking, presuming that the Vitamixes are American made.
They are made in the U.S. in Cleveland, Ohio. The repair department is at the factory in Cleveland, Ohio. And we also are just delighted that Vitamix also is a long-term sponsor of the National Health Association and participated in their annual convention. So if you look at their packaging, when you get a new Vitamix, you'll notice a lot of fruits and vegetables and plants and so forth on there. So they really want to be a tool for a better lifestyle. They are not capitalizing on the perfect science of salt, oil, and fat, which is what's making society in America sick. They are trying to take the other path of healthy wholesomeness for society. So, in terms of ethics, they're one of the most ethical companies when it comes to how they are serving their client base. They're not just here to make money off of us. They're actually providing products that can help us improve our lives and be healthier.
So Gina says her Vitamix is 30 years old. Somebody else has a 17-year-old one. Someone
thank
said,
you for sharing.
Yes. Someone else said, check the Costco road shows. So we bought our Vitamix at a Costco road show, and we paid $545 for this unit, which you can get right now for $329.95
with a 5-year warranty.
With a 5-year warranty from Vitamix. So, and that it's a reconditioned one, but like I said, it has to be less than a year old, and all of your containers and your tamper are all going to be new, and
the base itself has to be like new as well.
And the base has to look like new as well.
Yeah, if somebody buys a unit from Costco and then decides they wanted a different model or found one at a better price at Bed Bath & Beyond or who knows what, and that unit comes back, those are what gets turned into certified reconditioned. They go back, they're completely gone through all new food contact plastics, repackaged and shipped out as certified reconditioned. It does not mean that there was ever anything wrong with the base. It just means it went out of the factory at Vitamix and for some reason came back to the factory at Vitamix.
That's right. So, anyway, so this is actually a better price than what you can get at Costco. And we were at Costco the other day, and we looked to see if they had these, and I looked online, and they did not have any of these at our Costco. They did not have any of these in stock.
And when Tami opened the show, since we're talking about the Costco thing, Tami?
Yes.
One of the reasons a big reason we like the Venturist and why we bought it to begin with, is it does get you into that self-detect technology that allows you to use the...
I'll get the 8 ounce too and show them the 8 ounce.
For NutriBullet people, I mean, I think they made this just to appeal to the NutriBullet people. We don't use this a lot because it's, Tami might use it for a small bit of dressing or something.
Right.
But where was I going with that? The cost of use over time is where I wanted to get to.
Mm-hmm.
That the self-detect keeps us into the forward-moving things that Vitamix is going to come up with, like the food processor that she showed. And so that's why we really like this machine, because for a very reasonable price, especially relative to Vitamix pricing, this is a great entry level into the latest technology, the Venturist series.
Right.
What we'd recommend beyond that would be one of the Ascent series, which is also the self-detect.
And we do have one of those as well.
If somebody's not going to go there, then we will be showing some models. The basic workhorse, the model E310, and there's two new series machines out now called Propel. They do not have self-detect. We will be showing those later. We didn't want to get those into the conversation now, because this is really a wonderful opportunity. So,
Yeah, so, you know, the features, when you're looking at the Vitamix blenders, trying to decide which one, they all can do all of the, how do you distinguish between that one model that doesn't do them? But all of the full-size blenders can do all of the same things. They have this powerful motor, they can puree, they can chop, they can heat things up, they can make your velvety, creamy soups if you want, and your sauces. So it's just a matter of functionality, like, you know, what does it look like and how does it work? So I wanted to show you the 8-ounce container. I actually use...
Yeah, I use that one fairly regularly.
Yeah, this one.
There you go.
Yeah, this one I like. It works on the same base as the 20-ounce. And then when you put it on here, the machine knows, because it has that self-detect technology, it knows that that's an 8-ounce container. So I like to use this for garlic. I like to use it for chopping nuts, or if I'm making a little tiny batch of like some kind of a little sauce, or just a little bit of a dressing to dress just like a small salad or something, then I will do that in here. So, and it works really, really well. So just super quick work. I can put a jalapeno or 2 or 3 in here and chop them up really fast. I can do you know, 1/2 to 3/4 of a cup of nuts, or a whole bunch of garlic all at once. A lot of times I like to chop garlic at the beginning of the week, and then I'll put it in a jar in the refrigerator so that I have it to use. You can just put the little lid on and store right in the refrigerator too, if you want.
Which is really handy.
Yeah, or you could put it in your lunchbox. Do something in that and put it in your lunchbox. And Tom's right, I don't use the 20-ounce as much, because when I make salad dressings, you know me, I'm a batch cooker. And I'm making large batches.
But you also have the 48-ounce container.
And I have the 48-ounce container as well.
Okay, Cat Dancer's asking, what's a Costco Roadshow? When you wander through Costco, there'll be an end cap, and there'll be a person there surrounded by piles of Vitamix boxes with a counter, and they'll have a couple blenders out, and they're usually making a hot soup, either a cheese soup or a tomato soup or something, demonstrating. And so the V1200 Venturist V1200 Vitamix makes this model with the self-detect feature to be sold in the Costco chain by these, you know, they're affiliates they work at Costco, but they earn their living going from Costco to Costco, you know, demonstrating and selling Vitamix machines.
They get paid by how many machines they sell.
Yeah, and so they, you know, they earn a commission on each machine, as we do at Nutmeg Notebook. You know, we are affiliates of Costco, so this is
not Costco. We are not. We spend a lot of money at Costco, but we are not affiliates.
We earn some money at Vitamix, and we go spend it at Costco. As we did with this machine.
Gina said if I got a Vitamix and a food processor, I could eliminate a blender, a food processor, a NutriBullet, and a spice grinder. Also, it would be a space saver.
Yes, you could. And that's the thing about this base, why she is always so excited about that food processor, is she doesn't have to heft around that 20-pound base of her Cuisinart Elite food processor.
No, it's
because
gone.
This
It's
guy's
in the
already
garage.
on the counter. All she has to do is grab that little plastic canister that fits on top. So
yeah,
that's
it's
bonus.
I use my food processor so much more now that I have the Vitamix one, because before I just dreaded getting the other one out, and I dreaded having to clean it because it was so hard. Are there different Vitamixes?
Oh, absolutely. If you know any of our links, and down in the show notes, I do have the link for this promotion that takes you straight to the page. But if you go in the show notes, is our regular Vitamix link that takes you to our Vitamix homepage. That's a Nutmeg Notebook link there. And then you can look at the NutriBullet or the E series or the Legacy series or the new Propels or the Ascent series, which there's 3 different models in the Ascent series in a variety of colors and finishes. Sometimes it comes down to aesthetics. Which one looks the nicest to you? So, But our conversation right now is about the Venturist because of for the self-detect series, $329 is a great price. By comparison, the Ascent series, you're talking in the neighborhood of $649. It's like $300+ more to get a different look and some fancier buttons and so forth. But
the Ascent one has the
pre-programs.
Pre-programs.
Yeah. And so it's a very sleek looking machine. It's $300 more. It does the same thing. Both units do equally the same thing.
And they both have self-detect. So if somebody's wanting to get into the world of Vitamix and save a few $100s, then that's what this conversation is about today. Mm-hmm. Yeah, because it's a substantial savings to get in on the self-detect technology so that you can use all of the accessories if that's what you want to do. Yeah. If you have a food processor or you don't ever use a food processor, then that probably doesn't matter to you. If you are happy with the blender that you have, then it may not matter to you. But if you want to get into a Vitamix or you want to upgrade to the self-detect technology so that you do have the option of using the accessories moving forward, then this is a really great way to do it, just because the price is so awesome. It's just like when the Breville goes on sale, we like to tell you about that. Whenever we find something that's a really good deal, we like to share that with you. And because we love our Vitamix so much, we're super excited about it. Lori says they may cost a lot, but they last longer and they have a great built-in warranty. The materials are much better quality than other blender companies. Absolutely. It's just a really big difference from the Ninja, and we love Ninja products, but from the Ninja or the NutriBullet or the lower priced blenders that are on the market, because what we hear from people is that they don't last for a long time and they end up replacing them. Well, by the time you've replaced it for the third time, you could have bought the Vitamix for $329.95, and it will literally last for years and years and years. So,
did you say something about a julienne blade? No.
Yes, if you could look it up, they have a French fry, and I believe a julienne blade for the food processor.
Oh, for the food processor. Yeah, there's some new blades for the food processor.
Yeah, they didn't have those originally, but if you go on the website,
you will find them there, and we actually do have them, but we have not made a video about them.
We have
yet.
not.
Yeah, because they got they sent us those to show when we get to that.
Right.
So, okay.
So anyway, that's just our thoughts. It's one of our favorite small kitchen appliances because we use it all the time. And this helps us eat healthy as well as our Breville Smart Oven Air. I can't imagine not having those, but it's all in what we get used to using. So anyway, anything else? If anybody has any other questions, it doesn't have to be about Vitamix. If you have any question about whole food plant-based.
There was a question early on. I don't know if you're still here. We don't have a lot of information right now about the holistic holiday at sea.
I think people just got back from it.
Okay. Did it already happen?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, somebody asked about holistic holiday at sea cruise. I mean, we went on one a few years back, 2019, I think.
2020.
Okay. Well, but what's going on with him right now? I'm not real clear where.
Yeah, I think people just got back. I think it already I think it was this past week.
Yeah.
And I think people are already back from it. It went to Honduras, and it was a different route.
It's a good thing we didn't sign up because you were sick.
Well, this is true.
Okay.
That is good. That is good.
All
yeah.
Right. Yeah, there is a new. And we haven't shown it either. We have what's that blade called for making frothy plant milk?
The Air.
The Air, yeah.
Do you want me to grab it?
No.
Okay.
No.
I just haven't had a chance between the bundle.
Yeah, we have lots to do, and so we'll get to those.
I have so many things that I want to do. Oh my goodness. Yes, Karen says yes, the Holiday at Sea cruise just happened. Yeah, I thought I saw that somebody just got back from it.
Okay.
So I'm sure they all had a wonderful time and learned a lot from all the amazing speakers that
Okay.
were on that. So,
All right.
okay, so somebody did wrote to me and said, the next time you do a live, could you answer this question? Would I be better off not eating and not making and eating all of the desserts and nice cream and Ninja Creamy and all that if I'm in weight loss mode? And, you know, it's an individual question, but for the most part, for us women, because we don't get to eat as much as the guys and still be able to lose weight. So it's better to stay with the lower calorie density foods and the less sweets, because just eating the sweets, even though, you know, the frozen fruit is healthy and it's just fruit, we can end up eating more of it when it's blended like that, and it's you know, is so much like ice cream, and then we probably have more of it more often. And so for me, when I was in weight loss mode, I didn't make a lot of treats and that kind of thing. I was really trying to create some new healthy habits. And so I was eating fruit instead of like banana and ice cream. But what you might do so you don't feel deprived, it's such an individual thing. We're all so different. But maybe you allow yourself to have a couple of desserts on the weekend. And then, you know, Monday through Friday, you have fruit. Fresh fruit is your dessert
just a
instead.
couple on the weekend. Is that how that was supposed to work? and you know, Tami mentioned that I can get away with more calories. Well, to a degree. As many of you know, our friend Chef AJ moved to our city. And after she moved here, she started this Chef AJ dessert class that went on for several weeks. And so she was cooking desserts incessantly for several weeks. And then when we would visit her, she would have these frozen stores of cooking demo desserts piling up in her freezer. And she didn't want them in her environment any more than she advises to not have that stuff. And so she was pretty aggressively, kindly sending that stuff home. And so even though men can get away with a couple hundred more calories a day than women,
and you were very excited to take those.
It was great for the first couple of weeks, but after about the fourth week, there were some issues. And so I had to, well, fortunately the class got over, I think. But yeah, those desserts do catch up with you, even though they were made from whole foods and they were plant-based and all yummy stuff. But,
well, and then you told her, don't send any more home with me.
But
I wasn't eating them, but
I started out having a big one every night after dinner, and then I would have a half of one. And
as soon as you were done eating, you were like, I gotta go get my
dessert downstairs. There's dessert in the freezer. It's in my environment. I have to have it. So anyway, so yeah, maybe weight loss mode. I actually had to end all of those desserts and get rid of the couple. It's actually a little over 2 pounds, almost 3 pounds of extra weight just from Chef AJ's dessert class. And I told her that it was entirely her fault that she was doing that to me.
And she's a food pusher. She's a food pusher. Okay,
yeah.
So you guys were asking about the julienne. You'll have to look up the food processor on the Vitamix website to see which blades it comes with. I don't think it comes with the julienne.
Jill made a comment here somewhere.
There's some extra ones.
Jill, blade included, just the thing that makes soap or julienne. I don't know.
So here is the julienne.
Here, I'll hold that up.
Okay. That is the julienne.
Oh, here we have, let's see if I can figure out how to, yeah, this will work here. I'm going to go to camera 3. See, you can really see those julienne blades. Pretty fancy. And is there anything on the other side of this? No.
No,
this
it's one-sided.
Just julienne right there.
And then this one is called a veggie stick. And I think this one is for like making French fries.
It's bigger.
And for making like carrot sticks, if you will. See how that one is made?
Don't put your finger in that one, it's spinning.
And then this one is two-sided. This is a fine slice and a fine shred.
Okay, so this looks, is it different than what they used to do? So that's kind of looks, so that's the shred side is here, and then the slice is going to be on the other side.
And then I can look at what mine came with. Did you already put it away?
Yeah. So she's going to go get the original kit. Yeah, and these, by the way, they're really thick. This is a very, it's not a flimsy piece of tin. These are solid, so that like if you're pushing down on it or something, they're going to hang on.
Okay, so
we haven't even tried these out yet. They're still in their new.
I did do the veggie stick. I did make some French fries with that one day. So let me see what came with it originally.
So this is 2 and 3. You're going to start
That's
at 4 and
a
5.
thin slice and thin shred.
How come there's no number? How come there's no number 1? This is the number 2 blade, which is a thin slice. If I can hold that, they can see the thickness of it.
And they're reversible. And so you get shred on one side.
And this is the shred side.
Yeah.
There, you can see the little shredder thing sticking up.
Okay.
You see how this blade, you can see that
it's sharp.
That there's a steel blade that's welded on here. It's not just a piece of the tin plate. It's an actual blade that they've added to the disc.
And then the other one is just the same. It's just the thick version of it. And so these are what originally came with it.
And there's a taller holder for these now too.
And there is. They've made a taller holder.
Do you have that too, Sarah?
I do.
So we will do, at some point, we'll do a Vitamix thing, because we have a lot of different Vitamix to go over. So, okay. Any other questions?
So Lori says when they have road shows, talking about Costco, you can get the extra accessories in discounted bundles. Costco doesn't carry the accessories separate in the stores, but they will have them available in road shows. Yes, that is true.
That's why they include that 22-ounce container and that extra hub. This is one of the things you get in the kit, in the Costco
with this.
kit. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so they do that too on this on the reconditioned set.
Exactly. That's right. Karen says, I would eat too much if I did her desserts. Oh, absolutely. Joe says, Chef AJ desserts? Lucky you, Tom. Well, he thought he was lucky for a while until the pants got tight.
Something was going wrong with my belt.
Your belt was shrinking.
Yes. So we had to put
it coincided with AJ's dessert class. Gina says, my Cuisinart specialty discs are why I still have my old food processor. Yeah, mine has, I have a whole like case that came with my Cuisinart.
Which is also out in the garage.
Yeah, because I just wouldn't use it. It was too much of a pain.
It's almost
Lori
7
says,
o'clock.
thank you for the difference. I purchased based on your recommendations. I honestly didn't need the buttons, bells, and whistles, but I do like the manual dial, the pulse switch, and the timer display. Yes,
Great.
I didn't talk about the timer display. You do have.
Oh, that's
up
how
here.
I watched that count up as I was doing
Yes.
the cheese sauce.
So
when would you use the plus and minus hook? Do you set it?
You can set it
and
if
then
you
it counts down?
know that if you know you do the cheese sauce and you want it to run for 2 minutes, you could careful don't I've got this on there.
Oh, and you're on power 9. Who didn't turn the dial down? Oh,
Who did it? Who didn't?
Oh, I guess I didn't. Oh, that's totally backfired.
Yeah. So anyway, you can set the timer here. If you know this is going to run, you need it to run for 2 minutes, then you can set the timer here, and then you can walk away, and when it runs out of time, it will shut itself off. And while you're using it, it's counting, so
Bye, Stephanie.
so you can watch it as well. So Stephanie's heading out. She'll catch the rest on replay.
Now the Vitamix
Thanks for watching.
is a great machine, but it does not have the 2.2 horsepower motor. It is a smaller motor. It doesn't have the speed of the regular Vitamixes.
Yeah, so it won't do all the same things that this does. It was really intended to like go to college with college students, or maybe you take it in your camper, not your camper, but your motorhome.
Motorhome, yeah.
You know, because you don't have a lot of space. But at least it would allow you to do a little bit of blending. So anyway.
Okay.
Okay.
Are we going to sign off now? We started to sign off about a half an hour ago and it didn't happen.
I know.
You got a question? Okay.
Yeah. Right. I just wanted to cover stuff.
Okay.
So, and I just wanted it to be fun for everybody too.
Okay.
All right, but we need to eat dinner. It's
okay.
Oh my gosh, it's almost 7.
Yes,
and
it
we
is.
haven't. And now
we had a really late lunch, remember? Because we did the Amazon.
Yeah,
so
we're totally off schedule today.
We've not recovered from the daylight savings time, and I'm almost ready to say maybe they should vote to just leave it alone because it messes us up for like 3 weeks each time that they do it.
Yeah, we're
well,
getting old.
they as us, you know. So. Okay.
Oh, Gina says, Tom, I meant now I can get the Vitamix food processor with the julienne blade.
Oh, okay.
There you go.
Oh, the Vitamix 1, not the Vitamix 1.
Yeah, now that makes sense.
You can understand why I might be confused by that. So.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so I think we should be able to clean up the kitchen, put all this stuff away so I can batch cook tomorrow.
You're going to take tomorrow off?
We're going to take the studio down.
Okay.
And I've got to make salads tomorrow.
Okay, and then I'll do my Restream research, and then maybe we'll do something. We'll do a blast on Monday and see where everything goes.
Oh, we're doing a field trip Monday with the kids.
Oh, okay.
We get to go on a field trip Monday to the museum.
Very cool.
So we're doing that on Monday.
Okay.
So there won't be a live on Monday.
Okay.
Could be on Tuesday.
Very good. Okay, everybody.
Thank you guys so much for joining us. This was really fun. We were glad that you guys could hang out with us for a while. It was fun for us.
Prompted Tammy to be impromptu.
Well, I felt like I was getting some voice back, so I thought, I think I can talk.
Yeah, and Gina, thank you for filling in for our absent moderators. They do work very hard for us every day. But they didn't even know about this live. We didn't tell them.
Oh, no, I sent that. I did send, Jesse said, if you're going to do a live, an impromptu live, at least give us a heads up. But I'm sure everybody had plans.
Yeah.
So, and I told them, don't worry if you can't make it. So, but anyway, it was fun. But thanks for hanging out with us. We've been lonely. We haven't seen anybody for 2 weeks. We haven't been able to be around our family or...
We got banned from our grandkids' house by our daughter.
Yeah, she's like, we don't want what you got.
I even tried to maneuver my way over there by myself because technically I was not also sick, but I was told that I could be a carrier and that I was also banned. So that's how it goes.
It is.
All right.
All right. Thanks, you guys. I'm Tammy.
And I'm Tom.
And we help you
get healthy and stay healthy. One meal at a time. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.
Have a great weekend.
Bye.
Bye.